Hello and welcome. Hi, I'm author Grace Wroldson. How do you document the narcissist when you're forced to co-parent with one? These are my 10 keys to creating leverage and strategizing against the narcissist tactics. I'm author Grace Wroldson. I'm the author of several self-help true survivor story books. And I have this blog you could purchase individually on my website, or you'll get it in my 5th book for moms that'll be published very soon. So look for that as a bonus chapter. If you're willing and ready to learn, I am here to teach. You're welcome to come visit me at my website. My background is loving and leaving an alcoholic who then I had a family court custody battle with for 12 years and discovered that it wasn't just alcoholism, but rather a serious personality disorder that was making it impossible to co-parent. And I had to do the parallel parenting, but that has all changed. So if you are willing to learn the lesson, I was willing to learn, heal, and outgrow the narcissist, write down, label my lessons, change what I could. And I suggest moms read my books in the order written for this mom series, because I talk about creating the foundations and co-parenting with a narcissist, 7 self-rules to stay sane. My first book on Amazon, it's orange yellow with a daffodil. Then my second book, How to Fight a Narcissist in Family Court and Win, Super Smart Strategies for Success. That's the red book. My third book, many of you don't know, it's Co-Parenting with a Sociopath, Survival and Sanity Guide. It is some of my best survivor wisdom. And then my fourth is How to Survive a Custody Battle with a Narcissist when the family courts force you to co-parent. If this is you, you are not alone. So this book, my first book, Co-Parenting with a Narcissist, has been updated for 2024 and has a bonus chapter of Get the Right Lawyer Guide if you get the Kindle and print versions. This is also available on Audible, and this is my best tips to moms if you're trying to create boundaries with a boundary crossing person and you're hitting your head against the wall and you are doing the one definition of insanity, which is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. You might have to start setting the boundaries with yourself, knowing what you can and cannot do with a personality disordered narcissist. So pick up that book with the Get the Right Lawyer Guide, which has the 20-question attorney interview worksheet. You can get a lot of your legal answers in just free consultations. That's how I got a lot of the different perspectives and angles to take on my custody case. So this is how to document the narcissist when you're forced to co-parent with one. These are my 10 plus keys for creating leverage and strategizing against the narcissist tactics. So let me ask you, do you know what to document when dealing with a narcissist? Do you know how to document when dealing with a narcissist? Forced to co-parent with a narcissist. Welcome to my work. I teach moms to document strategically so they can keep their sanity. My motivated mom clients get a documentation strategy in place so they don't have to feel like they have to document absolutely everything, which ends up driving them crazy and ruining their lives. If documenting everything feels heavy, you're not alone. It's more work we have to do thanks to the narcissist. However, we can simplify so we don't get too overwhelmed by having to do too much related to our narcissistic ex. We can target the things that matter to our judge. When documenting a narcissist, we run the risk of focusing too much on the narcissist doing our documentation. So there needs to be some systems and strategy in place. And please read my disclaimer because I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a therapist. These aren't scientifically proven methods. These are my mom survivor tips, and take what you like, leave the rest. The key is to document the narcissist strategically. what I have seen in my private life coaching practice is moms without guidance fall into fear, just like moms without support tend to lose their sanity. And moms who don't have support tend to get emotionally destabilized. What I have seen is that moms who sit down ahead of time, think about the 5 to 10 things that need to be documented to win a custody case, create leverage, or defend themselves without being on defense all the time. The planning, then the pre-planning, and the stepping back and getting a larger perspective on what matters can help. Instead of just documenting everything the narcissist is doing wrong, isn't doing, should be doing, that could drive anybody crazy because what we're focusing on takes up all the space in our mind. Also, the moms who underestimate the narcissist often get ambushed. Those who don't document, thinking they've been ghosted. And so even though the narcissist might show little to no interest year after year in the children or the child, it doesn't mean that he wouldn't file for sole custody all of a sudden, out of the blue, at the exact moment, like when you go into the hospital for surgery and he happens to find out through social media. Just so you know, this happened to me. So here's another key. Don't underestimate the narcissist. Be prepared for anything with good documentation. So it is smart to be prepared for anything the narcissist might do, is capable of what he would do to get out of paying child support or to punish you or to win against you, or for his fragile ego that was broken to try to redeem himself. A narcissist doesn't stop being a narcissist when they leave us or when we leave them. They're still narcissists if they get into a new relationship. They're still a narcissist if they quit drugs or drinking and get clean. They're still a narcissist if they buy a new house, or get a new job. If you're failing to document the narcissist, recognize that you might be self-sabotaging, unknowingly self-sabotaging. We need to safeguard our custody cases with good, solid, organized, strategic documentation. And the key here is set yourself up for success, plan. I always know that quote, if we don't plan, then we plan to fail. I don't know who said that, but if you know, put that in the comments below. So this will be partly a blog, partly an introduction video. So this is another 15 pages of all my 10 plus keys of how to document the narcissist. You can pause this, take what you like, leave the rest. Really, I'm here to help you rethink and transform your circumstances. Usually we get reactionary and we end up being co-creating more of a mess, is what I say, because we don't realize our key in it. We're just fighting against the trouble or trying to get truth and justice or fairness for our kids. And that I teach moms, you won't get fairness from an unfair person, and acceptance can really lead to personal peace. So document the narcissist. And I teach ways that are free. And I mean, many of you have these really great apps. Some of them are in beta versions, but I have a free, simple way to document the narcissist that I share with you. And I share with you why and how I used it in this blog that is also a product that you could buy from mine, a digital product. I also have another digital product of how to heal from narcissistic abuse, my tips, guidance, resources, and more. I have 25 keys to healing. You might not realize how much there is to heal from. And those who are unhealed are hot buttons. They are emotionally reactive. And I teach moms that a narcissist typically wins by emotionally destabilizing the target. So we don't want to be working against ourselves here because we have unhealed fears of what the narcissist will do next, or all kinds of other unhealed things from narcissistic abuse. I teach about the 3 things we got to heal from because it's not just one thing. And I have a gray walling method that can really help in the beginning when you're forced to co-parent with one. And I also call it a castle and curtain method. You'll understand that. You can come to my website, www.gracewroldson.com. That's GRACEWROLDSON. And I have a blog for moms and a blog for women. If you're in a court battle, I teach about the 20 wants list. It's a power tool. And I used that to lead my lawyer in what I wanted and to keep my focus on what I needed and what my child needed versus having a list of everything the narcissist isn't doing and then call my lawyer and say, I documented this is how he's bad, bad, bad. It took me stepping back for several weeks to say, what do I need to put boundaries, buffers, firewalls in place, stopgaps in place? What do I need the judge to order? Or what do I need the lawyers to agree on? So sometimes you'll find out that the lawyers are reasonable when the narcissist isn't. And sometimes the lawyers will agree to put something in an order that neither you nor the narcissist said to put there, but the lawyers all advise it should be there. Like a co-parenting app, they usually will mutually agree on having a co-parenting app court-ordered or agreed upon that is regular, consistent for all co-parenting communication. If you don't know this, I have a free Navigate the Narcissist Substack newsletter that has a free podcast with it. I'll be working on the Spotify, Apple podcast soon, so keep an eye out for that and my private groups that I'll be hosting. And this, if you want to do some work on your own, you can always come to my YouTube channel and watch some videos for free. But I have a Navigate the Narcissist co-parenting video course. If you've got little ones, you're just starting out and you really need solutions for your sanity, that 11 video course you can watch and reflect and journal. It does take some self-work here so that we can get a hold of ourselves, our thinking. It takes your sanity to strategize, so we can't do things in emotional triggered reactions. So the narcissist has plenty of tricks, tactics, and traps and manipulations to get to you, but we need to have these skills and self rules and strategies, the ability to learn from our mistakes, to change, endure, adapt, navigate the narcissist, basically. And if you're ready to learn, you can learn a lot in that 11 video. It can really ground you in sanity and logic and get you on a different playing field. I have a video and a blog for strategies for dealing with a narcissist as a high conflict co-parent. I encourage you to watch as many videos, read as many blogs, because knowledge is power. And if you're learning, then you can be implementing things slowly, strategically, systematically. I talk about getting a strategy. You'll need several strategies: a documentation strategy, a support strategy, a legal strategy, a defense strategy, an offense strategy, a parenting strategy, and a communication strategy. And then I go through all the other strategies that you will need to have in place, operating simultaneously. And it's just basically living by certain principles that you establish that are pillars of support for you, and he's not allowed to knock out from under you because you put them in with yourself, not with the narcissist. I have a Get the Right Lawyer guide. It's in my first book as a bonus chapter. If you get the print or Kindle, in the Co-Parenting with a Narcissist 7 Self Rules to Stay Sane, that orange yellow book, this is a new bonus chapter with my update. And you have to remember that sometimes our child custody case is often only as good as our attorney. So we often need to empower ourselves with getting strong legal representation, or at least legal guidance and free consultations, and have the lawyer ready that we would hire, and have the bank that would give us a down payment or the retainer for the lawyer, or have the free legal aid lawyer available to us or ready to go. So these consultations can be very key. And if you're really smart and you interview the top family law attorneys in your area, it can be a conflict of interest for the narcissist to retain those attorneys if you've already consulted on your custody case with that attorney. So a lot of moms have to pre-plan and out strategize that narcissist. And typically, if you fight with them, they will find the best tools and weapons to fight back. And I always say, this knowledge and preparedness are power. So read as many as my books as you can, even if you're not there yet or you're not in a custody battle. Just knowing how to safeguard your case from parental alienation claims, those false PA claims that narcissistic dads tend to use and win, where judges will flip custody saying that parental alienation is child abuse, and we were just simply trying to protect our child from an abusive person. But evidence isn't allowed, and such all the things that can go wrong. It's not a straight line to a judge, as many of you in family court will know. It's a zigzag and complicated, convoluted, and definitely the family courts are inadequate for these situations. So I always say get legal representation. It is empowering. And my Get the Right Lawyer guide is in that first yellow-orange book. Getting an attorney can and often does deter the narcissist if he knows that you will go after his assets or income, or he'll be held accountable, or there'll be consequences. So the Get the Right Lawyer guide is also in the How to Survive a Custody Battle with the Narcissist book. When the family courts force you to co-parent, it has a bunch of rocks stacked as a guide that really does cover my journey of losing in family court to winning in court, and then winning in negotiations with my narcissistic ex, and then having peace and protection. My second book, How to Fight a Narcissist in Family Court and Win. You need to expect the unexpected, just like you've got to expect disorder with a personality disordered person. Moms who want order or are surprised by what he's doing and not doing haven't accepted the fact of who he is and what he is. If you're still surprised and shocked, then it might be time to get an education on narcissists, just the basics, so that you know they're selfish, self-focused, what they care about, what they don't care about, what makes them tick. Don't spend every day, all of your day focused on the narcissist. And if you're a mom, you can come to some of my website. I have some groups for moms in different stages of a battle, some just co-parenting, some in a legal battle. Because when you're dealing with a narcissist, legal abuse is often one of their tactics. I call it co-parenting abuse if you read my books and blogs, but it's really post-separation abuse. I learned that after I identified all the abuse tactics. And just being able to label what you're dealing with, like flying monkeys, minions, gaslighting, triangulation, poisoning the well tactic. If you're able to label that, that can become part of your documentation, like all the criticisms of me as a parent, and you just list them 1 through 100. You'd be surprised when that might come in handy if you're ever forced to go to co-parenting therapy and the narcissist claims that he never says anything bad about you. And then you say, well, in the past year, these are the things you've said. In September, you said this. In August, you said that. In July, you said this. And my kid heard it. Our kid heard it and repeated it. In June, you said this. In May, you said this. In April, you said, that really exposes who he is to the third party, who's usually being charmed, the therapist, and who always likes to give benefit of the doubt and see the best in people. But if you can expose the pattern of behavior and be able to repeat details, date, time, facts without emotion, it can really stop some of them from doing what they're doing. Often they find another way, if that way they got caught and it was a dead end, or it was going to be used against them. But that's why I teach, if you read all my books in a series, how to stop being the narcissist target of blame. Because when you're not his enemy, quote unquote, to destroy, or the person to beat, or the person to not lose to, or the person to win against, when you are not that, they don't have to employ all those abuse tactics. They'll still be toxic and just abusive by nature, but you won't be targeted. It won't be like you have a bullseye on your back. It won't be like you have your own personal terrorist when you stop being the narcissist target of blame. And I don't take credit for that. I did learn a lot from Bill Eddy and some of his books. So if you want to look up what that is and what that means from a psychologist standpoint, I talk about how to do survivor strategies to not be that target of blame to a narcissistic ex who you are forced to co-parent with because the family courts require it. That's in my book, How to Survive a Custody Battle with a Narcissist, that 5 factors to make them stop. There's also what to put in a court order, a whole list. I keep adding to it as we go because moms come up with things like, we don't want the narcissist spanking the kid or whooping the kid, or the stepmom whooping the kid. And so you might have to add that. The bigger and the longer and the more court ordered, the better it is for recourse later, because narcissists don't like to follow rules, and then you'll have more than one contempt, and that can become your leverage if they come to take the kids completely or falsely accuse you of something. You'll have some things that he's not doing right, and he knows it. So it's a comprehensive list of things to ask for, what to put in a court order. You can find that blog. And I encourage all moms to do their healing work while they're doing all this strategizing and have a strategy partner. I do very few one-on-one sessions. Look for my groups, look for my group coaching that I'll be doing, because we can, get through this together. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe in video, or if you're listening to the podcast, to subscribe to the podcast. I'm open to donations. I do mail out books, give out free copies of books to moms who are struggling. So if you want to donate to me as an author and a writer, I appreciate any and all support. So thank you for listening or watching, and I'll see you in my groups or on the next video. Remember to learn, heal, and outgrow that narcissist.